X-Men can. Okay. Check, test, 1, 2. Check, test, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Yeah, you would think that. There's free pie after this.
They might shove you out of the way. Pie and ice cream.
So this mic is what line? MZ1. Check, 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 check. No, there is no aux on that over here. See, I was looking at these. It's like way high. But none of those are even up. Check, 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 check. We don't get any level. Check, test, 1, 2. Check, test, 1, 2. Check, test, 1, 2. Check, 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 test, 1, 2. PFL, solo, in place. Check, 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 check. Check, test, 1, 2. Check, 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 test, 1, 2. Check, test, 1, 2. John Lewis's voice. Test 1 2. Check check test 1 2. Check check test 1 2. Did you download that right on the desktop? Thank you. Uh, you want to go talk on the microphone on the podium? Just once we get. Yeah, you got to do stuff you don't want to do. It's rule number 1. Rule number 1. Check check test 1 2. Check 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 test 1 2. Check test 1 2. That's a good thing. Everybody needs to hear the president.
Which
in my mouth.
Wireless or the regular one?
We're gonna try them both here.
All right.
But we switched your input or your output to see if we can get you some more control here. Check 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 test 1 2. Check test 1 2. Check test 1 2. You want to turn it all the way off and see if he can still check check. Okay. Check 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 test 1 2. Check test 1 2. Check test 1 2. Check check check.
No, I've got room.
Check test 1 2. Check test 1 2. Test 1 2. Check check test 1 2. All right, Turner's going to try the mics from the stage.
Check test 1 2. Microphone on the lectern. Lectern microphone. Check 1 2. Just how's it sounding?
Sounds good.
All right.
Try the other one.
On. All right. Check test 1 2. Wireless microphone. Check test. Sounds pretty good down here too, although it's a little bit quiet. Try number 2. This sounds a lot better, actually. Is it supposed to be this tinny? Is it supposed to be this tinny? Okay. I think we're solid then.
We'd like to, oh, there we are. We'd like to make a few introductions first. I'm going to ask Beth Ann Dobie, who chaired the search for our incoming Vice President of Student Affairs, to first introduce our incoming Vice President of Student Affairs.
Hi, everybody. She just arrived. So we're very happy to welcome Dr. Kimberly Geyer. She got her BA at Susquehanna University, a nice small liberal arts college, and she's happy to return to an institution that's a similar size. She majored in French and Spanish, shout out to modern languages, and she was a first-gen student, and that's been a passion of hers ever since, as is evidenced by her dissertation, which was on an examination of first to second-year persistence of first-gen students, which she did at the University of Pennsylvania. So she comes to us from Temple University, the Klein College of Media and Communication, where she oversaw student services for about 3,000 students. And she brings to us experience in recruitment, living learning communities, academic advising, first year and transfer programming, as well as assessment and accreditation. So let's please welcome Kim Geyer.
I'm thrilled to be here and to be joining the Alfred family as the VP for Student Affairs, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. So thank you.
Thanks, we have some swag for you. Where's Kathy?
Right. You're wearing the wrong color, Kim. So I'm very excited. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Kim also has some animals at home, and one of the components of the offer package was swag for the animals, so those are still on special order. If you'd also could join me in thanking Beth Ann Dobie and Kathy Wolfter for her superb leadership in student affairs. So next, Rick, who led the search for our first, or our Associate Provost of Research and Economic Development.
John, you want to come up here, please? So it's, well, yeah, I know. You're special. Yes, we have swag. You can go ahead and play with that for right now. So just a little bit about the position. It's called Associate Provost for Research and Economic Development. Most of you in here would associate the position with the CAT directorship. This past year, we went through a renewal process for the CAT. We were successful in it. A lot of props go to Dave Gottfried and some other folks who aren't here right now to make that happen. The result of it was a 10-year renewal at $9.2 million total. That's a big thing for us. So that's something to celebrate. But in the process of putting that proposal together, we said we really need to add some juice to our research portfolio and the economic development initiatives associated with the CAT. And so we proposed creating a different kind of position that has a little higher profile to it. And so rather than CAT director, it's Associate Provost for Research and Economic Development. We were really fortunate that we had a very deep pool of applicants. There's not a lot of people who can do this, but the people that we had were actually quite talented and capable. And through a pretty extensive process, one of the really interesting things that happened out of this is we found somebody that we could actually bring home. Because John is a two-time AU alum, both BS and PhD in ceramic science. I believe came originally from over around the Yorkport area. There we go. So he knows his way around. Doesn't get lost in the hills quite so easily. But one of the things in conversation with John that kind of came up was a saying that my mom used to offer many times. She said, if you want to get something done, find a busy person. There's a lot of truth in what our moms say to us about that. And I said that to John. And what's interesting is John is actually every bit of that. He's been busy not only since he started on April Fool's Day of all days, just appropriately, but being in touch with many people here across campus, actually since he interviewed. He was not assuming that the job was his, but he was just being engaged as an alumnus of the university. And so we're really thrilled to have him back. He's been doing this kind of work for 20 years since he earned his doctorate in 1990. Most recently, he's come from I got to look it up each time, the Electric Power Research Institute. I just call it EPRI because that's how it was mentioned to me early on in Knoxville, Tennessee for the last 10 years. He's been all over the world. He's been developing programs of all kinds, including some that we're really interested right now in areas like machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analytics, et cetera. So welcome, John Simmons.
Thank you. Does anybody remember when I was a student here? Okay. All right. So I wasn't looking for a job. I was actually very happy at EPRI, and I was invited to give the Bergeron Forum and to speak at an event that Dr. Wang put on, and I was having breakfast with Bill LaCourse, and he mentioned this opportunity. And when I was in graduate school is when the CAT started, and I thought, geez, I would love to do that job. And Bill said, would you still want to do that job? I'm like, oh yeah. And so he got on his phone, and the next thing you know, I had an interview, and you know, the other 5 candidates mysteriously disappeared, one after the other, and Bill's my alibi. But somehow I beat out, as Rick mentioned, a very well qualified group of individuals. I am absolutely thrilled to be back at Alfred, and yeah, I still know how to get from Almond to Hartport through Bishopville and all that stuff. So looking forward to meeting you. If you have any concerns or you're interested in doing research, because I'm also helping to increase the research on the private side, just feel free to reach out to me and we'll have a nice conversation. Okay, but I want to thank you for the warm welcome and the swag.
John started yesterday. Kim will join us effective June 1st. Somebody who's still working but will join us from Connecticut April 29th. We found him through a search process that Jason Amor and Brian Dalton co-chaired, and we'll have them say a little bit about Michael Kozlowski, our first executive director of marketing communications.
Well, this is Mike. He can't be here today because he's in Connecticut wrapping up his stuff. For those of you who met him, I hope that you enjoyed his presentation. I know Jason and I am working with first failed search and then a Virginia search that we wound up with a pretty eclectic and talented pool. They had strengths in a number of different areas. You know, in communications and marketing, oftentimes the two don't meet. You're really good in one, you're really good in another. And we found a candidate who actually has been on both sides. Private industry, working in the University of Connecticut system. Mike is a graduate of UConn. He has a master's degree from RPI. He also has a law degree from UConn, and so he comes heavily loaded in terms of that. So I think first we made a good hire. We got lots of great feedback from people, particularly the folks that would work for this guy, be inspired by this guy. The one thing that struck me in doing interviews with his references, I talked to 2 of the presidents. I know Jason will reflect on as well in terms of the references. 2 of them were system presidents at community colleges in Connecticut, and they marveled at his ability to be dispassionate, to work with faculty, because there are a lot of issues in Connecticut with workforce development, closure of colleges, budgets, things like that, new initiatives, to be able to work with faculty and gain their support and their trust, and then work to get things done at the same time on a number of different levels. So this guy is a multitasker. He appears to be well-liked by almost everyone There is a lot of lamenting going on in Connecticut because he's leaving their system. You should know that the Connecticut system, as I was indicating, is under a lot of financial stress, and so the future of being able to fund the type of things that he would be leading is a serious question. And our ability to put money in place, because this is what we will be doing with our branding, our marketing efforts, things like that. That's real money, and that's something that really appealed to him. He also, in the system, is distant from the campuses themselves, and he reflected on the fact that this is a campus where he could picture himself being out among faculty, among students, and really being engaged in the environment, and that's exactly the type of person that we want.
I also want to thank our search committee, which was Mark Whitehouse, Logan G., Amy Rummel, and Paul Vecchio, so thank you for that, guys, appreciate it. I told Mark, leading search committees is a lot like jury duty, and that now that I've done an 11-month search, I've opted out for at least 5 more years. So, well, I appreciate his enthusiasm for hiring folks. Any more
Thank you, Jason and Brian, search committee. And Rick and the search committee that found John Simmons. Our honorary degree recipients, we initially, our board chair and vice chair said, Marlon's never given our commencement talk. We've honored him before with an honorary degree, but he hasn't been our commencement speaker. So they thought it would be very fitting that this year Marlon would be our commencement speaker. And it's very rare, I haven't heard of any other case where somebody gets 2 honorary degrees. But somebody suggested, well, wouldn't it be great if somebody, Marlon's a pretty special person. And if anybody's going to get 2, Marlon deserves it. This next honorary degree will be a doctorate in fine arts in recognition of all he's done for our art and design programs. So we're going to look forward to Marlon's remarks. He's already sent in a draft about the power of innovation. And then our other 2 honorary degree recipients, one's an alum, class of 1940, Terry Galanis Sr., and then his son, Terry Galanis Jr. Junior is a member of our board. At 70, he would like to retire from his CEO role at the company. The problem is Dad comes into the office quite a bit. Still writing birthday notes to employees, still asking about their families. He's now 101 years old. Went to my first 100-year-old birthday party last year with Terry Sr., his 86-year-old girlfriend, and 250 employees at Sealing Devices. So we're going to recognize both. For Terry Sr., we'll be going to the Lancaster area where the company's headquartered, April 22nd, to confer the degree there. Longer car trips are a little more challenging for him nowadays. And Terry Jr. will confer an honorary degree at our May commencement ceremony. Now, unsolicited, and we were surprised by a gift that came from Terry Galanis Sr. And to convey what he wanted at the top of the list to support with this $1 million gift, our president for the day, he's been president of the Student Senate, Keyshawn LaPlante, he's one of our seniors who's taken 4 classes earlier today. He's going to be graduating. He's been working, he's originally from Schenectady, so he and I will be switching roles officially on Thursday, but we thought we'd give him a little more practice today. He's been working 30 hours on the side on top of a pretty heavy course schedule. His ultimate dream is to be an exotic animal veterinarian. So to go to vet school, so we're going to be sure to connect him with Dr. K and the work she does with exotics on the National Geo Channel. So without further ado, President LaPlante.
Thank you, Mr. President. All righty, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Doing all right? Awesome. All right. Thank you for the opportunity to be present for a day, as well as to make the announcement from the gift of Terry Galanis Sr. Our university is giving the one-time payment to all full-time and part-time regular non-bargaining unit employees hired before July 1st of 2018. The one-time compensation settlement will be in the amount of $800 for employees earning less than $50,000 a year, and $500 for employees earning $50,000 or more. The supplement will be paid prior to April 15th. It represents a small but meaningful step to better convey our appreciation to our staff and faculty for everything that they do for our university. We are committed to taking better care of our people, and we owe Terry Galana Sr. our profound gratitude for applying a near-term means to do so. So thank you very much, Terry Sr.
I mentioned to support staff council that I'd never seen a gift like this except somebody who gives to the endowment of an institution. So it's definitely outside of ordinary. But Terry Galanis Sr. surprised us and is definitely outside of ordinary. Of the seven-figure gift, the $1 million gift, it'll support the one-time supplement. It'll also help our College of Business. And it'll also help our athletic programs on Jericho Hill in particular. And then a final piece, he's one of our two people that have committed $100,000 toward our challenge gift, overall $200,000 for our Day of Giving on Thursday. So, to ask for your help in 5 ways. If you get the opportunity between now and April 22nd, pen a thank you note to Terry Galanis Sr. and give it to either Jason or myself. We'll provide a compendium of gratitude to him on the occasion of his honorary degree receipt. Second, we're in the midst of admission season. Quite a few of you were helping on Saturday with our Accepted Student Day. We've got another one coming up in almost 2 weeks. So thank you for the ongoing support. Same with retention, how we implement greater professional advising, degree works, so that we're ensuring better student outcomes. Going out, there's a sheet of paper that Jason and his team prepared. The more you can help us play up our second annual Day of Giving through your social media sites. So there's a to-do list of ways you can help us for those of you that have had former students. We have 25,000 alumni, so the more we can make this a visible thing, it's important to us. We'll also be pushing out an email later today how you could take steps to help us. It's on April 4th. All Alfred Fund gifts count on that day, and any new Saxon Circle or increased Saxon Circle commitments. We're at 508 now Saxon Circle members. So thanks to our support staff, pie and ice cream next, right next door. So it's National Eat Dessert First Day. And then 12:45, we're going to take a family photo near the Fiat Lux letters on the quad. So if you could join us then for a brief photo. And thanks for joining, and happy spring.